Hello everybody, welcome to EduTap. So today we are going to do a very special session for all those students who are appearing for IFSCA Grade A 2025. And today in this particular session, we are going to analyze the previous year question. And this particular video is very important for all those students who are currently into the preparation stage. So you have to understand that previous year questions will help you to understand that what is the important chapter, what is the least important chapter, and how you have to make your preparation solid. Okay, so this particular session is very important, wherein we are analyzing the previous year question for all the phases, phase 1 and for phase 2 as well. Okay, so let's start. Before I move ahead, my friends, EduTap is running a very special offer for all of you. And currently, if you see, for the IFSCA Grade A, currently we are having 74% off on all the courses of IFSCA, whether it's phase 1 plus phase 2 full video course, or whether it's phase 2 full video course. And currently the code which we are using, it's 1 time 74. 1 time 74 code is only valid from 4th of August, which is today, till the midnight of 6th of August. So this is the kind of a very unique opportunity which you all can use. And if you want to use the course of EduTap, then I think 74% off is a very big opportunity to grab. Okay, now let's move forward to the content of this particular video. First, we are going to analyze the previous year questions of phase 1 paper 1, and then we will analyze the previous year questions for phase 1 paper 2 as well. Okay, so first we are analyzing quant, reasoning, English and current affairs. Now let's start this particular session. Now first of all, if you see the level of quant, reasoning and English, now see, if you are preparing for RBI, then RBI is over here. PFRDA or IFSC or any other exam, when it comes to the quant, reasoning and English, they are over here. By which I mean zameen asman ka farak hai when it comes to the level of quant, reasoning and English. So over here you do not have to worry much. The paper is on easy side only, and maximum of the chunk of questions are easy only. But yes, some questions can be moderate. But if I ask you in IFSCA phase 1 paper 1, what is the paper cutoff which you have to target? It's just 30%, right? Which is equals to 30 marks out of 100. So you need to just get 30 marks out of 4 sections, which is quant, reasoning, English and current affairs, right? Now first, when it comes to the level, I have told you that the level over here is easy to moderate, and you do not have to worry too much. The questions are direct, the questions are easy, and it can be done once you solve some good amount of quantity of question in your mock test. So यहाँ पे आपको RBI जैसा level practice नहीं करना है. And yes, if you are preparing for RBI, और आपने RBI का level achieve कर लिया है, then definitely this particular level is very easy for you. Okay. Previous year question also tell us that the most important chapter in quant, reasoning and English, let's discuss them one by one. The first is simplification or approximation. या तो simplification आएगा या approximation आएगा. Then you have number series, then you have quadratic equations, and by far the most important one is data interpretation. So these are the 4 important topics. अगर आप इन 4 topics को भी कर जाते हो, even if you do these 4 topics, you can still get good number of marks in quant. In quant, you have 25 questions, right? Even if you skip entire arithmetic, still you can solve, let's say 10 plus question in the quant section, which according to me is a very good score, because सिर्फ आपको यहाँ पे cut off clear करनी है, right? The next section is reasoning. Again, you have 25 question. Target 10 plus or 15 plus depending upon your aptitude. The most important topics are syllogism, blood relations, inequalities, direction sense. Puzzles and seating arrangement are also asked, but remember, this is not RBI level. Puzzles and seating arrangement over here are basic to moderate. By basic, I mean level 1 or level 2 at max. You do not have to solve that much difficulty level over here. Okay. When it comes to English, RC, which is your reading comprehension, will be the most important one. Then you have error detection, fillers and rearrangement. So if I see overall for quant, reasoning and English, मुझे नहीं लगता यहाँ पे किसी student को problem आनी चाहिए until and unless you are too low in the preparation of quant, reasoning and English. But अगर आपने किसी regulatory body के लिए भी पहले prepare करा है, so you can use that particular information in IFSC grade A also. And this we are speaking on the analysis of previous year question of 2 years, 2023 and 2024. Now, if I see you, or if I go forward in the PPT, I have some snippets as well. Like if you see, this is the question paper of 2024. Now, this is the question which they are asking from approximation. You can see different questions are coming. Now this is all one marker. Okay, so 25 question in quant, 25 question in reasoning, 25 question in English as well. So these are direct questions. Now these are not for RBI. These are not for RBI. Rather, it's a very basic clerk level type of questions which you have to prepare. You have multiple inequalities based question. You have multiple double fillers in English. So I would say the paper level over here is easy to moderate, and maximum of the question will be on easier side. So quant, reasoning and English is not a kind of a headache subject over here. Moving forward to the next component of phase 1 paper 1, which is your current affairs. And for current affairs, I would like to call Kritika ma'am, who will take the session forward, and she will tell you that what is the analysis of previous year question with respect to current affairs.
So see, in the current affairs, like sir has said, that the reasoning, English and the quant section, if you have prepared for RBI, it is going to be very easy for you in the PFRDA or the IFSCA kind of examination. Okay, in the current affairs is a domain that you have to cover holistically. Like here, first of all, you have to cover the 3 months of current affairs, but here the focus has to be given to the finance current affairs, important regulatory bodies decisions that are quite in news that you have to cover. But here you do not have to go to 8 months, you do not have to go to the schemes and the reports of the last 1 year and such. Here, if you are doing the current affairs of the 3 months near to the examination, that will be good enough. Okay, because again, the current affairs you have to cover, but the recent ones only. And one liners, usually like in the RBI examination, we see that we get the lengthy questions, but here you are going to get the questions, or you get the questions as per the previous year questions analysis. One liners question they come. Okay, so this is the basic idea. Now let me show you the questions so that you get the clarity that okay, what kind of questions come, and regulatory body, from regulatory bodies the questions are coming, so from what perspective. Okay, so here you can see that Bima Trinity, the question was directly on the Bima Trinity introduced by IRDI. Here you can see that from the Reserve Bank of India, the decision of the RBI, the decision of the RBI, the decision of the SEBI, and the decision of the IFSC, or from the IFSC news article. So you do not have to go through the circulars of RBI, you do not have to go through the circulars of SEBI, you do not have to go through all the circulars of the IRDI, because first of all, they will be very complicated to understand, and you will have to go through the websites of each of these institutions. So that is not required. Just when we talk about the general awareness, and in this you just have to go through the current affairs, that is what is coming in the news. If you are reading the news articles, or if you have the course and you are going through the magazines, that is enough. For 3 months, focus on the finance current affairs, that is from the different regulatory bodies, what are the major decisions they have taken that are quite in news recently. Okay, not only now here I will say that do cover the schemes also, because some of the schemes they have come in phase 1 paper 1, and many of the schemes they have come in the phase 1 paper 2 also. So we will discuss more about it later, but do cover some of the schemes that are coming in the recent months before the examination. Okay, so focus on the finance current affairs, focus on the schemes, and the general awareness part, that is the banking news also comes. Okay, so general awareness of the last 3 months, focusing on the finance current affairs and the schemes part. So this is the overall idea. Yes sir.
Right, ma'am. So you have given a beautiful explanation. But ma'am, what is the timeline for current affairs? Like you have said 3 months, but अगर किसी के पास time कम हो तो what that particular student should do then?
I will say, देखो हमेशा क्या करना है कि exam, जैसे let's say the exam is on, the exam is today. So 1 month before the exam, that is the priority. Then 2 months before the exam, then 3 months before the exam. So if you have less time, so cover 1 month nearest to the exam. If you have more time, cover 2 months nearest to the exam. So I will say at least 2 months nearest to the exam should be done. If you have more time, then you can go up to 3 months also.
Right, ma'am. So let's move forward now. Let's move ahead to the, I would say, to the phase 1 paper 2. Now we have completed the PYQ analysis for phase 1 paper 1. Again, the bottom line is what? That you just have to get 30. अब आप 30 कैसे भी लाओ, however you get 30, by what medium you get 30, that is it, right? You do not have to go that much high in paper 1 because the cutoff is already pre-announced, which is 30. So you just need to get above 30. Simple, right? Some students will do what? Some students will target quant, reasoning and English, and they will skip current affairs altogether, right? They still have 75 questions to address, so they can definitely get 30 plus. Some students who are not good in quants, they will target the other 3 sections, reasoning, English and current affairs. So as I said, you just have to get above 30. कैसे भी 30 आते, that is totally up to you. Okay, so this is all about phase 1 paper 1, and me and Kritika ma'am both agree that phase 1 paper 1 में इतनी टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि आपको सिर्फ 30 नंबर लाना है. Moving forward to the next paper, which is phase 1 paper 2. In phase 1 paper 2, you have finance, management, costing, commerce and accounts, Indian economy, economy and social development, and current affairs. So there are multiple components which you have to do, and certain part of phase 1 paper 2 will be repeated in phase 2 as well. For example, if you see your finance will be asked to you in phase 2 as well. Rest management will not be of usefulness. Costing में नहीं आएगा, commerce and accounts भी phase 2 में नहीं आएगा, Indian economy भी नहीं आएगा, economy social development भी नहीं आएगा, and yes, current affairs will also be asked in phase 2. So if you see, only two components will help you in I would say phase 1 and in phase 2, that is finance and current affairs. Now let's move forward to have a brief discussion regarding the previous year question analysis for phase 1 paper 2. Now when it comes to phase 1 paper 2 of all the different components, this is the analysis which we have brought for you. First, conceptual clarity is needed. By conceptual clarity, I mean even if a basic question comes, even if a hard question comes, or even if a moderate question comes, you need to have a conceptual clarity with you. For example, if I talk about any topic, for example, if you talk about commerce and accounts, they are asking you a question on trial balance error. So if you don't know what the hell trial balance is, then how the hell you will be able to answer the question which is based on errors of trial balance? Same, if you go to finance, if you don't know what block deal is, or what bulk deal is, you don't know anything about Indian stock market, then you can't answer those questions, right? So conceptual clarity is needed. Okay, conceptual clarity means what? That आपका base साफ होना चाहिए. Your base should be crystal clear, and this is where our live classes helps you a lot. And one more thing, if you are looking for previous year questions कि आपको देखने हैं, so you can see the banner which is running on the bottom of the screen. We are providing you previous year question of 2023 and for 2024 as well. The link is already given in description. It's absolutely free for you. Now coming to the first point, this I have discussed, that conceptual clarity is needed, right? Conceptual clarity is needed for all these subjects, even for subjects like Indian economy, economic social development, commerce and accounts, costing, management. This point is common for everything. So focus on your basics. Then only I think you have a good chance for moving ahead from phase 1 to phase 2. Then easy to moderate numericals. For example, if I show you the next slide on which I have questions also, like see this question wherein they are asking you the data related to profit PV ratio, okay, profit to volume ratio. Now there is one formula of PV ratio. You apply that particular formula, the different details are already given to you. Once you apply the formula, the answer will be coming to you in seconds. And this is not even, I would say, easy. If you remember the formula of PV ratio, then definitely you can solve this question. So if you see numericals, when it comes to the topics like costing, yes, numerical can be there. The PV ratio was of costing only. Then you have commerce and accounts. So these two topics and some topics of finance also. So these three topics rather, commerce and accounts, costing and finance, can give you some basic numericals. I think from Indian economy also they can ask you some questions based on calculation of national income. But if you see the topics which are based on numericals, they are not asking you tough questions. They are easy. Okay, they are easy formula based questions. Moving forward to the broad coverage of topics. Every paper over here will definitely test you on the width, not on the depth. So they can ask you multiple questions on management. Like in management, they can ask you the topic of leadership, HRD, corporate governance, you have motivation, communication and whatnot. So if you are investing too much time, let's say in leadership only, you have completed the leadership and now you are the master of leadership. And because of that, you have left the topic of HRD. So आपने एक टॉपिक इतने अच्छे से कर लिया, दूसरा नहीं किया. So this is a very bad thing to do. In IFSCA, you have to do everything on a superficial level. यानी कि सारे टॉपिक्स करने हैं so that you can increase the width of your coverage, not the depth. Depth काम आएगी, but it is not that much helpful in IFSCA. Width is the most important thing which you have to target, and therefore horizontal coverage is must needed in the IFSC grade A exam. Then the questions are mostly one-liners. This I can show you on the previous year questions also. Like you can see what is the size of a batch of production needed for total cost of setup and holding cost are minimized. So this is very easy. How is the cost of production calculated? Again, COGS formula, very basic. In which market structure there is a single seller with high barriers to entry? This even I think 12th class student can answer it. Then you have questions coming from which of the following is an example of current asset? This question can be answered by even 11th class student. So these are basic questions. These are not tough. मैं तो basic से भी नीचे लेके जाऊंगा. These are like foundational questions which I think you can answer once you cover the components of different, I would say, phase 1 paper 2. Now, if I move ahead to the role of current affairs, now current affairs ke liye I will again like to call Kritika ma'am, who will take the session forward.
Okay. Before going to the current affairs, sir, I have a question for you.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
how much do we have to cover in the phase 2? Like, if some students do not have, like, in the phase 1 paper 2, if students do not have time to cover all these components, do they have to do, like, because there is only 40% of the weightage now?
Yes. So what Kritika ma'am is saying is that in your phase 1 paper 2, the predetermined cutoff is 40% out of 100. So you just need to get 40, but there is an overall cutoff also, ma'am.
Yes.
So you have 30 in paper 1, 40 in paper 2, and then there is an overall cutoff also. So what I will advise you is कि यहाँ पे अगर आप 40 target रखोगे और paper 1 में 30 रखोगे, then definitely your overall cutoff will be a miss. So what you have to do is in phase 1 paper 1 just get 30. In your phase 1 paper 2, try to get as much as possible. By as much as possible, I mean at least 50 plus. At least 50 plus, because ये तो चाहिए ही चाहिए होगा. Right? So if I am on your place, I would definitely target finance, because ये आपको बाद में phase 2 में भी काम आएगा, and current affairs also. Current affairs, I think, is important for RBI also. Like RBI में you have current affairs in phase 1 and in phase 2 as well. Same structure is followed in IFSCA also. Current affairs में phase 2 में भी काम आने वाले, finance वहाँ पे भी काम आने वाला है phase 2 में. तो आप यहाँ पे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा स्कोर करो. मैं आपकी जगह होता तो definitely I would 50 plus तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, but अगर मैं पढ़ता अगर आपकी जगह तो definitely my scores I would have target 70 plus, because ये core है. Quant, reasoning, English आपको आगे काम नहीं आने वाला. So I hope ma'am that addresses your query.
Correct. So मतलब इसमें if you have to target the marks, like sir has said 60 plus 70 plus will be good. तो अगर पूरा in depth करने की जगह जैसे सनी का horizontally coverage करो, width पर फोकस करो rather than depth पर, और अगर width पर फोकस करोगे तो ऊपर ऊपर से पढ़ोगे तभी भी बहुत अच्छे से कवर हो जाएगा. ठीक है. Now coming to the current affairs, तो अगर आप ESD और इकोनॉमिक्स के क्वेश्चन देखोगे तो काफी बेसिक क्वेश्चन है. जैसे ESD इकोनॉमिक एंड सोशल डेवलपमेंट से डायरेक्टली क्वेश्चन था कि इंडिकेटर मेजर्ड इन द PLFS, ठीक है, कि व्हाट फैक्टर्स इन्फ्लुएंस द डिमांड फॉर मनी इन द गुड्स मार्केट. तो इकोनॉमिक्स का क्वेश्चन है, बहुत ही बेसिक डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन है. अगेन इकोनॉमिक्स से और ESD से बहुत ही डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आए थे. लाइक आई सेड स्कीम भी थोड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाती है, बिकॉज स्कीम्स से क्वेश्चन जो है ESD वाले कॉम्पोनेंट में भी आए हैं. नाउ जनरल नॉलेज, कमिंग टू जनरल नॉलेज, दैट इज करंट अफेयर्स. यहाँ पर स्कीम्स का वेटेज काफी ज्यादा है. इफ आई शो यू कि स्कीम्स यहाँ पर काफी सारी स्कीम्स पूछी गई थी. ठीक है. तो स्कीम जब हम 3 महीने के करंट अफेयर्स कर रहे हैं, जब हम 3 महीने के करंट अफेयर्स जनरल अवेयरनेस कर रहे हैं, तो उसके साथ मतलब जैसे मैंने कहा कि फाइनेंस करंट अफेयर्स पर फोकस करो और साथ में ना थोड़ा सा स्कीम्स पर फोकस करो. ये आपको फेज 1 और फेज 2 दोनों में ही हेल्प करेगा. ठीक है. तो बेसिक आइडिया है कि करंट अफेयर्स आप पेपर 1 के लिए भी कर रहे हो तो पेपर 2 के लिए भी करंट अफेयर्स आपको करना ही है, और फाइनेंस करंट अफेयर्स और स्कीम्स पर थोड़ा ज़्यादा फोकस रखना है. ठीक है. और बाकी करंट अफेयर्स जनरल जो 3 महीने के करंट अफेयर्स कर रहे हो, 2 महीने के करंट अफेयर्स कर रहे हो, वो थोड़ा अच्छे से कर लेना. दैट्स इट, नथिंग न्यू हियर. Yes, sir. Let's move to the phase 2 now.
Now we are moving to phase 2, and you can see that this video is quite long because we have done the analysis अच्छे से. Okay, else we can make this video short also, but let's do the video on quality purpose, right? Now comes your, I would say, what phase 2. Now in phase 2, your paper 1 is English descriptive, wherein you just have to follow the formula of PPP, which means practice today, practice tomorrow, and practice day after tomorrow as well. In English, we all know your essay, RC and Pressy will be asked, and there are multiple videos on YouTube which can teach you that how to write an essay, how to write an RC, and how to write a Pressy. So English, I think, is bit sorted. We have to talk about this particular paper, which is paper 2 now. When it comes to paper 2, banking and financial markets, this is basically your finance only. Okay, some people call financial markets as capital market also, so they are absolutely correct. Now in banking and financial markets, you just have to focus on 2 extra chapters on whatever syllabus you have done in phase 1 paper 2. Phase 1 paper 2 में भी finance करा था, right? So over here you just have to add 2 to 3 more chapters like bullion, spot and derivative market for precious metals, and there are some banking related chapters which you need to add over here. Okay, but if you see the overall analysis of all the different I would say paper 2 components, again conceptual clarity is needed for all the subjects, whether it's pension or insurance. You see the questions which they have asked. They are asking you what is the maximum amount of pension which a person can get under APY. So this is a very halwa kind of question, right? 5,000 is directly the answer. So once you see any halwa kind of question or very easy question, you have to save your time in those questions and invest your time in tough questions. And this is where my second point is coming. Easy to moderate to tough questions. Like if you see there are 50 questions in paper 2. So I would say like maximum of the paper is easy to moderate, maximum of the paper. But like say 10 to 15% questions can be tough also. By tough, I mean that they can be challenging. Like the two options can be challenging, or rather three options can be challenging, or either you can see a total alien concept itself. Okay, so you have to make sure that you save your time in easy to moderate question and invest the same in tough questions. And tough question can come from pension and insurance, or even from IFSC Act, because in pension there are multiple schemes, right? Like for example, APY, for example, NPS, the UPS is also in news. So they can ask you multiple things, but we have to keep ourselves limited, right? Moreover, my friend, you have to focus on broad coverage. Broad coverage again means what? That read horizontally as much as possible. Do not leave any basic concept, because that can harm you. And no full reading of budget and economic survey is required. Like if you come to this particular point, budget and economic survey also plays an important role. And over here, remember, my friend, there is no need to read all the pages of economic survey, because if you analyze the previous year question, they are asking you the important stuff which will be covered by the summaries of EduTap or by any other major coaching institute. Okay, moving forward, facts based question can be asked. I should rather write fact based questions are asked, not can be, because if I show you the questions, they are asking you direct what is the maximum monthly pension available under APY. Answer will be 5,000, right? Like see the question which they are asking from economic survey. According to economic survey of financial year 2024, Indian equity market capitalization percentage of GDP ranks dash in the world. Now this is coming as a major highlight. This is not a kind of a small stuff. What is the maximum number of members allowed in the IFSC authority? What is the full form of gift city? What is the full form of gift in gift city? So the questions are easy only over here. You just have to focus on facts. Like this question is also on fact. This question is on concept. So there will be a mixture of fact-based question, and I would say what? Multiple conceptual questions as well. So focus on it. Okay. Now let's move ahead to the next topic, wherein Kritika ma'am will come and she will explain you regarding gift city and economic survey and union budget.
So here you can see that from the economic survey and union budget, basic questions came. Okay. So first of all, you have to cover the static part of the union budget also, that you can cover in the ESD also and in economics also. Okay, so union budget ka static part, that means the components of union budget: capital expenditure, revenue expenditure, the types of deficit and such. So from a static concept, there was a direct question that the difference between total expenditure and total receipts excluding borrowing. So this is fiscal deficit directly. So such kind of basic question can come from the static of union budget. The rest were the the recent questions from the economic survey and the union budget. Okay, and you can see 4 questions came from this part, and very basic question came, very direct question. Okay, and again factual question. Now coming to the gift city and IFSC Act, it was very like the regulations, there was no questions from the regulations. Okay, so there was no questions from the regulations, and the questions are very easy from the gift city and the IFSC Act. One question was based on the current affairs. So you can understand that if there is any current affairs like recent news that is going on regarding the IFSC, so that you have to cover, that you are covering for the phase 1, that you have to cover for the phase 2 also, because the general awareness like the current affairs can come in the phase 2 also from the IFSC particularly. Here you can see direct, very easy basic question came directly from the IFSC Act, from the gift city, and it was factual in nature. Okay, so regulations, now I will not say that do not cover the regulations, cover the regulations, but focus on the major regulations. Okay, like the capital market intermediaries, the banking units, these kind of regulations you should be focusing on more, rather than focusing on the regulations of 2020 2021. Focus on the regulations that are recently released in 2025, and some of the major regulations like the capital market intermediaries, bullion, and the banking unit and such. Okay, so this is what you have to focus on in the gift city and IFSC Act. And in the union budget economic survey, cover the recent part as well as the static of the union budget. This is the basic and the major idea.
Right, ma'am. So we have done the analysis for phase 2 as well.
Yes.
And again, to remind you all the students that EduTap is running a very big offer for all of you. 74% off. The code is one time 74 on all the courses of IFSC grade A. But this is only active till the midnight of 6th of August. Now, thank you so much, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this particular video. Still, if you have any doubts related to the IFSC preparation, do drop them in the comment box. And I hope you enjoyed this video, wherein the overall summary is what? that the questions are basic. You just have to study as hard as possible. Okay, that's it. Have a good day ahead.